Richician!
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, and welcome to Q&A number 19. And yeah, there's so many questions to answer this week. I mean, LOL 11000 and Gungnir have so many. Like, you guys are just inquisitive this week. Anyway, let's get right into it, because I imagine this is going to be another half hour to an hour long episode. Let's kick it off! So the first bunch of questions are from LOL11000. Try saying that 5 times fast. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that first one, because would you rather questions are banned from this segment. So skip that one. 2. Can you cook any good recipes? I struggle at scrambled eggs, so would be thankful if you could share some special food recipes with me. Well, there are a couple. I used to cook mince and pasta a while ago. Shouldn't be too difficult. In fact, I even once did a video ages ago where I did a step-by-step guide on doing it, like back in 2008. Unfortunately, that's one of the old videos that got lost when I lost my channel. But yeah, it's very simple. Just cook it in a large pan, boil the pasta for however long it needs boiling for in water. And then with the mince, I mean, you could add onions, although I myself hate onions. Maybe some other herbs and spices if you wanted to. Yeah, Bob's your uncle. And peas would usually be added as well. I mean, I don't know if you like peas or not. I do. Yeah. Another one, which I cooked quite recently, was an idea suggested by Express Gaming. Like, shout out to him for the idea, by the way. And that is chicken pasta bake. That's something I want to cook for my girlfriend. And I gave it a go last week, but it could be improved on. I cut up some chicken pieces into small squares, fry them, but not for too long, and again boil the pasta for 12 minutes or longer, maybe not too long. It should need 12 minutes, and then as you're frying, I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. As you're frying these chicken bits, add pepper. I think he said salt could be added as well as lemon juice or lime juice. I didn't have any of those juices, but that's what I suggest. You could add bacon as well if you wanted to. I'm probably not going to bother because it's too much. There's just too much to do, unless of course my girlfriend really wants bacon, as does anyone else I cook it for. Then once that's done, pour it into a baking tray, place some cheese on top of it, and cook for less than half an hour. I mean, I did it for half an hour, but it looked overcooked, and it was suggested I cook it for a bit less time than that, so maybe 20 minutes ought to do it. I'm actually impressed that I remembered that, but then again, I guess it's very simple. 3. How would you spend the day if it was the last day on Earth? I'd just simply spend it with loved ones, just doing whatever, like until something bad happens. 4. Do you see yourself moving in with your girlfriend or even marrying her? See, at first I wasn't going to answer this because this question would seem too personal, but I think I can answer this because these are things that the two of us actually did discuss recently, and we both actually like the idea of moving in together and marrying each other someday. So yes, I can definitely see myself moving in with her and one day marrying her. Just because I truly believe that she's the one, you know, just the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. We're nearly 6 minutes in and already I'm melting her heart, I'm sure. 5. Are you a religious person? No, I'm not, because to be honest, I don't know what to believe when it comes to that kind of thing. And it's hard to say what will happen when we die, one day. It's not something I like to think about. 6. What are you afraid of? Oh, there's several things I'm afraid of. Like spiders, depending on what kind of spider it is. Like the tiny ones I don't mind too much. Even the small ones with long legs that are seen in corners of rooms, they're fine, but anything else, it's just scary. Tarantulas kind of freak me out, and I don't want to go anywhere near Australia and New Zealand because of the black widows. Damn that. I also fear snakes, which I'm pretty sure I did talk about in an earlier episode. But I'm not as afraid of them as my mum is. She's so scared of snakes that she can't even look at them. I myself, well, as for me, as long as they're contained in a container, cool story, Richie. Yeah, as long as they're contained and secure, then that's fine, and I don't mind looking at them on a TV screen or a computer screen, if I'm watching a movie or some random nature video. Yeah, that's as far as it goes. I don't want to touch them either. They're scary and creepy, and they freak me out as well. I guess some other things are just death, the possibility of a world war, this bloody pandemic never ending. I'm sure we've all heard the news now about this South African variant, and it's for fuck's sake, it never ends. I just want this virus to fuck off and disappear off the face of the earth forever. Then again, so does everyone. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that. And another thing I fear is just losing my girlfriend in some way or another. If something happened which made our relationship end, it would just cut me up. I'd just lose all hope of anything just ever getting better. I just feel lost and empty. I can't even imagine what my life would be like without her. Yeah, I guess that's it really. 7. Who is your hero? That's a tough one. Uh, if I had to pick one, it would be my dad, definitely. Just because he's always been there for me in some way or another, like picking me up from places, fixing computers and laptops, just taking me and the rest of the family on holiday to various places, and just even going as far as to just drive for like hours, like with breaks, of course. I mean, I remember like very easily when we all went away to France in 2018 and drove like from the north of France like all the way to the south, which took 12 hours going there and then 12 and a half going back. Don't worry, we did take breaks along the way. Man, like it's tough just being on the road for that long, and I can imagine it must be tougher just being behind the wheel like throughout most of the time. Like, it's amazing. Oh yeah, and then there's the fact that he also taught me how to shave. 8. What's the first thing you think of when you wake up? Well, it can be various things, really. Like a lot of the time, on a work day, I'd be like, oh crap, I've got to hurry up and get ready for work. If I have a day off, then, yeah, depending on what I'm doing, like, I either think about staying in bed for longer if I've got nothing going on, or think about what I'm going to do during the day. But now recently, ever since my girlfriend came into my life again, yeah, there's a history between us. Ever since she's started talking to me again, and since we got together, she's the first thing I think of. And the last thing I think of before going to sleep. 9. Who is your role model? It's a toss-up between two people, one of which is Dan Green, the voice of Yugi himself. I mean, who doesn't want to be like Yugi or the voice of Yugi? Like, he has an epic voice. Very inspirational. And my other role model, I'd say, would have to be my girlfriend, definitely. She's very inspiring. She does a lot of fitness stuff and like inspiring people to do that, but she inspires me in a different way. Like, she inspires me to like continue making epic YouTube content for you guys. And like I said in the other video I did the other day, yeah, she makes me more inspired to do other things. You know, as I said, take her on holiday somewhere next year, give up drinking Monster Energy, and get back into playing in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. So there you have it. 10. Would you even consider becoming an agony aunt? You don't seriously expect me to answer this, do you? Like, I mean, but I guess I will anyway. No, absolutely not. Because like I keep saying, time and time again, more times than I should, like, I am not the person to come to for advice, like, especially the kinds of questions that you give me. Plus, like I've said enough times already, I am a Yugi tuber, not an agony aunt. I did not sign up to be an agony aunt. Like, this is just, what are the words I'm looking for? Like, this is out of my expertise. Like, I mean, sure, I guess there are some things I can help with, and my girlfriend thinks that I'm good enough at some advice, but that still doesn't make me agony aunt material, and it sure as hell doesn't mean I have the answers for everything, which is why I keep saying to ask someone else. Like, there's some things I just can't help with, like, which is why you should ask someone else or Google. Like, that would make more sense rather than waiting a week for me to give an answer that might not even be the right one. Just saying. 11. What's the biggest regret you have in life? I'd say again it's a toss-up between two things, one of which is messing up most of my GCSE exams when I did those. I don't know, I guess either I had some difficulty or I spent a lot of time playing Worms Armageddon and a Sonic Adventure. Yeah, like back then I only passed two or three things actually. French, art and design, and wait, did I pass IT? I can't remember, it's been so long, but I failed everything else and ended up having to retake maths and English when I went to college. It took a few attempts to pass those. That being said, it took two retake attempts to pass English, and it took me 4 maths retake attempt things to pass that. Yeah, it's not my strong point, that's for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a big regret. Another one, actually, during the earlier days of when I knew my girlfriend, was just basically not kissing her when I had a chance to, if the two of us were alone. Yeah, which was fine, because even back then, we're talking early last decade, like, we really liked each other back then. But that's a story for another time. I'm still trying to work out how to tell the story of how we met and eventually got together. But there's a few things about that story that I kind of don't want to say on camera. 12. What do you think the purpose of life is? Like, fucked if I know, mate. Fucked if I know. No one knows what the purpose of it is or what the meaning is, or why the human race exists. I mean, I guess we just do and live life however we can, really. 13. What are your guilty pleasures? I'm not sure I really have any, to be honest. I guess the closest thing would be listening to guilty pleasure songs, like Gangnam Style or cheesy pop music. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, to be honest. 14. Which of your possessions could you not live without? Oh, that's easy. My phone, any of my computers, my wallet, including my debit card, and my free signature Yu-Gi-Oh decks, Dark Magician, Elemental Heroes, and Rainbow Neos. Yeah, definitely those. 15. What is the one thing you feel you can never outgrow? Yu-Gi-Oh! There we are, short and simple answer. 16. How was your life growing up? Well, pretty standard, really. There's nothing really outstanding. It was about as average as you can get, really. Not really much to tell. And that's it. And then there's another question from LOLOL11000, which wasn't directed at me, but was directed towards my girlfriend, which I did do a small video about yesterday. So over to you, me from yesterday. Hey, this is Dark Richician 84 from yesterday, jumping into the Q&A, and I'm actually joined by my girlfriend. You wanted to see her in the video? Well, here she is.
Hi!
And she's going to help me answer a question which isn't directed at me for a change. It's one of LOL11000's questions, which is, what's your favourite thing about the Dark Richician? I like his laugh. Then again, so does everyone.
Who doesn't? Okay, well, honestly, everything. There isn't anything I can't say about him that I don't like. He's beautiful, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's kind, caring. We have so many similarities, and I remember that being in another one of his videos, and he was saying that we have a lot of things in common, and we do. We love walking. We laugh at farts.
Oh yeah.
Don't you, Richie? You always fart.
Not as much as Christian.
No, it's always you.
Yeah.
So, thank you for the question, and I hope you're well. So I'm quite new to this, so...
Yeah.
And I want to say something else about Richie. He has an amazing smile, and I cannot get that out of my head. And you're very good looking.
See, no, you're just making me blush on camera.
Oh, I'm proud of it.
Okay, so there you have it. Now, back to you, future me. Thanks, past me. Now, let's get back to the questions. Next questions are from Matt and Alison Welch. 1. Have you seen the trailer for the new Matrix movie? It looks incredible. I can't remember if I have, but I've seen a poster for it, and it looks good. I'll have to find the trailer and watch it. 2. Besides Dark Magician getting support in Battles of Chaos soon, which other support would you like to see in future sets? Well, as I've said a few times, I really want Light Rays to get more support, and support that's so good that it doesn't have to rely on Light Swarms to work. Another one being Masked Heroes, because there's still a few fusions that they're missing. Let's see, I think they're missing a level 8 Fire, a level 6 Light, Is there anything else? Oh yeah, and a level 6 Earth monster. So I'd like to see that, and maybe the main deck monsters that appeared in the manga as well. Another archetype I'd like to see support for is Iron Chains. That archetype only got like 6 or 7 cards back in Crossroads of Chaos, which was 13 years ago, and they've had nothing ever since. In fact, the only Iron Chain monster that saw play was the boss monster, Iron Chain Dragon, because it's a generic level 6. But even then, like, better level 6 synchros have come along, and just nowadays, milling opponents' cards just seems to help them more than hurt them nowadays, depending on the deck. And Guardians, which I did talk about in an earlier episode. The support that makes them playable, definitely. And then I've got so many questions from Gunner. 1. Do you have a favourite Yugi tuber? One that really gives you the feeling that his or her videos really represent the past and present Yugioh really well, you look forward to. Although I do watch a few of them, I don't really have a particular favourite, to be honest. I mean, they're all as good as each other. A red-hot favourite was definitely Galactic God before he stopped. That being said, though, I do like X-Underground members X, but they haven't uploaded much lately. Even then, it's they still have great content, but it's just not the same as it was back in 2010, 11, 12 and 13. Like, I missed how it was back then. 2. Did you ever meet one of the English original Yu-Gi-Oh voice actors in real life? As a matter of fact, I did. In fact, back in October 2017, I actually met Dan Green, the voice of Yugi, and Eric Stewart, the voice of Seto Kaiba, at London MCM, or London Comic Con. And it was just the absolute greatest day of 2017 for me, and I even got a photo with them. Don't know how well you can see it. God, I look so pale, and so do they. Yeah, I don't think my iPad camera does it justice. I also got their autographs as well. It was definitely a good day. 3. Which Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes for you has for you the most beautiful artworks? That's a tough one to think about. There's quite a few that have many beautiful artworks. I mean, I guess Endymion does, definitely, even though I don't like the archetype. It has amazing artwork, definitely. Just like something on a painting. Same with the Prophecy and Spellbook archetype. That rocks as well. And the Burning Abyss monsters, well, they look like something out of Magic the Gathering. Mind you, so does Prophecy Destroyer. It's great. 4. Which Yu-Gi-Oh set is your favourite of all time? Myself, it's Magician's Force. Dark Magician Girl is my favourite card since ever. and it has so many Magician cards inside. Well, that, my friend, is something we have in common, because Magician's Force is my favourite set as well. Because it has Dark Magician Girl, Skilled Dark Magician, Skilled White Magician, and of course Dark Paladin, the ultimate magical swordsman. And it has Breaker as well, and Old Vindictive Magician, like the spellcaster version of Man-Eater Bug. I was quite surprised that there's a monster with the exact same effect as Man-Eater Bug. Like, I mean, Man-Eater Bug is one of the most iconic monsters in the game, and yet Old Vindictive Magician is just overlooked. And I guess is seen as more of a Man-Eater Bug copycat. But I used it a lot more than Man-Eater Bug. I mean, he's been in my Dark Magician deck for years, absolutely years. Such a handy card. In fact, back in the day, it was a great way to deal with the Horus Decree lock. Like, no spells, no traps, but at least monster effects could still be used, and I could pop Horus, so that at least I could free up my spells. 5. Is there a Yu-Gi-Oh archetype that you really don't like because of some reasons? Playstyle, artworks, names, etc. Oh, mate, don't even get me started on archetypes that I hate. Like, fucking hell. Like, at this point, there's, like, too long a list of decks and archetypes that I absolutely despise. But if I do hate a deck, it's because it does something that does things that basically don't let me play the game. Like, whether it locks my deck down, OTKs, or does both, like Endymion, Pendulum Magician and Cyber Dragon for instance, or FTKs. Either that or is a troll deck that is not Exodia or Destiny board. Like, I just hate those kinds of decks. Like any deck that OTKs, FTKs, trolls, or locks a deck down is just annoying, bullshit, unfair, unhealthy, and bad for the game. And those kinds of decks should not be allowed in the game. Like, they just ruin the game. They suck all the fun, life and joy out of it. And I find that they just defeat the whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh! The point being that this is a game, and that games are supposed to be fun. It's not about trying desperately to win all the time, especially with decks that don't let anyone play the game. Like, I just don't agree with it at all. Like, decks like that are for people who just only care about winning rather than playing for fun, and just take the game too seriously. I find that just ruins it for everyone else. I mean, hence why I hate decks like, again, Endymion, Pendulum Magician, Plunder Patrol, any invoked deck of any kind. Cosmo, Cyber Dragons, Lunalights, Sacred Beasts, Gladiator Beasts, Six Samurais, X-Sabers, Mayakashi, Lair of Darkness. Pretty sure I said invoked already. Trickstars as well, Paleozoic Frog, Altergeist, Barrier Statue Stun, Evil Swarms. Like, seriously, fuck Evil Swarms, but particularly Endymion, because the kinds of decks that I usually play just auto-lose to Ophion. But the archetype that I hate the most is Herald. Like, what was Konami thinking making Herald of Perfection? Like, my most hated ritual monster in the game. Like, the card by itself just says, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, how is this monster not banned? Like, seriously. And And I hate that people defend it by saying things like, oh, but the deck's inconsistent, it bricks. Bullshit! Like, Herald decks are not inconsistent in any way, shape or form. How can they be when they have the option of playing 3 of everything? You know, the main cards themselves, like Manju, maybe Senju, Ritual Sanctuary, Preparation of Rites, Pre-Preparation of Rites, like any of the incantation monsters, like, so, like, I just think anyone who says it's not consistent is just full of shit. Like, and as for bricking, well, bricking means nothing. Like, everyone bricks. Well, unless you're an Endymion player. Like, I swear, Endymion players just never brick, ever. Because they always have the nuts. But, yeah, bricking just doesn't justify the existence of degenerate bullshit like Herald. Oh yeah, Monarchs is another archetype I hate. Although it's not my most hated deck, it's the one I've hated the longest. Like, it's such an annoying, cheap, easy win deck that just puts monsters on board that gets rid of something I have just like that. And Caius for game is just so cheap. It's like Ring of Destruction for game, you know, with Ring's original text. You know, just summon it, then have Caius banish itself just to take that last cheap shot at my life points. Like I hate cheap, dirty tactics like that. I mean, I could go on about this subject, but there's still a lot more questions to get through. 6. Have you ever considered playing Magic Cylinder and the new trap card that sets it directly from your deck and doubles the damage? Well, I did play Magic Cylinder ages ago, like even back in the day, all the way up to about 2012 or 15. I mean, Magic Cylinder is great, like I would happily play it, but there's just not enough room for it in any of my decks, along with the fact that it targets, which is not good against monsters with targeting immunity, and it doesn't get rid of the monster. I still play it in my past format decks and my Yugi character deck, but there's just no room for it in my current format decks nowadays, because like literally any of the Mirror Force traps are just better. Like, that being said though, back in 2015 I did run it briefly instead of Mirror Force, because this was when Shadows and Burning Abyss were big in the meta, and Mirror Force did nothing against them. Like, same with Pendulum decks actually. Like, there was literally no point using a Mass Destruction card, because they can just keep coming back. Like, so ridiculous. Like, Pendulums were just a mistake. Ultimately, I did put Mirror Force back in and ended up running Storming and Quaking. But as for this new trap that sets it, well, I don't know, it's kind of I mean, it's nice, but here's the problem with cards that search out specific traps. The opponent knows you have it. It's like, and if the opponent knows you have a certain trap, then they're not going to attack, like, or summon anything, because I know there's that card that searches Torrential Tribute, so they're just not going to do anything until they draw like an MST or a Twin Twisters to get rid of it. and like Yugi himself said once, traps only work when they take you by surprise. But if you know that it's there, then you're not going to do anything until you have some form of backrow removal. So it's not great, to be honest. Right, and I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a technical issue. I got cut off just as I was answering the question about Magic Cylinder, which is annoying because it means I've got to redo some of the questions. Well, actually no, just 2 of them. 7. Do you have any OCG cards? Yes, I do. I've got quite a few of them. Because I couldn't get hold of any English ones. Pardon me. For instance, I have 2 OCG copies of Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, which are in my top 10 favourite Link collection and my top 20 favourite Warrior collection. And of course, there's the 2 Japanese copies of number 89, Diabolosis the Mind Hacker, which I got to finish off my number and Yuma character deck collections. It's kind of annoying that it didn't get printed in Battles of Legend 4, so I got a Japanese one just to finish those collections off, and then I find it's getting an English reprint in Brothers of Legend. Typical. And Express Gaming knew this would happen as well. It's alright though. I don't need it. I'm happy with the Japanese prints, because like I said, it already has an English print, even though it's ridiculously expensive, and regardless of the language, it's still a real card, so it counts as complete. I'll take it. It's like I was number hunting for 9 years. 9 years, guys. I was not willing to wait any longer. 8. Is there a card that you really wanted but never got because of some reasons? I don't think so. I mean, there were cards that I did have trouble getting originally, but then when I tried to pick them up later, it kind of got easier. Like Neos Wise Man, Destiny and Dragoon, Doc Greffer. When I was trying to build, excuse me, Neos Wise Man, Blade Edge Beat Down, Destiny and Dragoon. That's 9. What do you think would have happened if Joey won against Marek via Gearfreed and obtained the Winged Dragon Aurora in Battle City? I feel like it would have changed some things. I mean, for one thing, the world would have been saved, like, right there and then. And Joey, like the best friend character, would have saved everyone from Marek, like, unless of course he challenged Yugi to a duel, like, outside of the Battle City tournament. But even then, like, the result would have still been the same. But it did mean, of course, it would have meant, of course, that Yugi and Joey would have faced off in the Battle City finals. And Joey still could have had a chance of winning a Duel Monsters tournament. Would he have used Ra against Yugi? I don't know, probably not, because it's highly unlikely that Joey would have read the ancient Egyptian text on Ra and would have been able to read the chant. 10. At the end of the Battle City arc, Joey and Yugi finally got their duel against each other. which one won? What are your thoughts? I don't know for sure. Haven't really thought about it much. Although it seems implied that Joey did win, based on the fact that he did have Red Eyes Black Dragon back in his deck by the time Season 4 happened. It's like, how else would he have it? Of course, I don't know how Joey would have beaten Yugi, of course. Would have been interesting to see. 11. Do you think there are deck archetypes out there that really need support? Well, I kind of already answered this question earlier, and I said Light Rays, Iron Chained, Guardians, and Masked Heroes. Definitely those. 12. Did you ever visit a World Championship for fun? No, I didn't. I've never been able to go to any of those things. In fact, the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh tournament I ever went to was the UK Nationals back in 2011. Like, that was it. But even then, I kind of wish I hadn't gone. It was just a flop for me, which I'm pretty sure I did mention in a previous episode. Like, I won one match and that was it, and lost all my others. Oh, and I was using Legendary Hero for those who were wondering. My one and only win was against Nordics, but I lost against Gravekeepers, which were a terrible matchup because it turns off Miracle Fusion. Then I lost against Six Sams, like one of the best decks of the format back then. Black Wings, which I shouldn't have lost against, because they should have been easy to beat. And Macro Monarch, a combination of two decks I really fucking hate. And then I dropped out, but that was only because the friends I went with just wanted to go and wanted to have food, which was fair enough. Like, could have stayed a bit longer otherwise, but I don't know. 13. Why don't you have an Exodia deck? Don't you like the play style? Like, dude, what do you mean? I do have an Exodia deck. Like, I did a deck profile a few weeks back, and it was among my inactive decks. Let me show you. Which folder? Was it this folder? Yeah, here we are. This is my Exodia core. Right. I mean, to be fair, I guess I went through these binders a bit quickly, so you probably didn't see it, so if that's the case, I apologise. Oh, it's got something peeling off it. No, I like Exodia. It was the first proper deck I ever played, like after my random deck. And like, besides Destiny board, it's the only troll deck that I genuinely do like. Exodia FTK builds I don't like at all, especially the Blue Eyes Exodia FTK deck. Because, like, anyone who plays an FTK deck of any kind is a piece of shit scumbag with no love for the game. But as for Exodia decks like the one I just showed, like, they're fine, I like them, and Exodia is technically a classic boss monster from back in the day. yeah, I think it takes a lot more skill to play than a burn deck or a deck out deck, or barrier statue stun, most definitely. 14. What are your hopes for the Gold Tin 2022 with the God Card images? What do you want to be inside? Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm hoping it's not more Dark Magician and Blue Eyes support. I mean, I will still welcome it, because big Dark Magician fan, and I like Blue Eyes as well, but both archetypes have enough support as it is, and like, we all want something different. So that's what I'm hoping for. God Card support would be nice as well. Maybe even something that can search Slifer and Obelisk more easily. You know, La has a searcher in Ancient Chant, and I think it's only fair that Obelisk and Slifer get one as well that isn't Mound of the Bound Creator. But more importantly, I want promos back, damn it! Like, come on, Konami, give us back the promos. Like, they were the main thing that made collectible tins or mega tins more worthwhile. So at least bring those back. 15. How many Yu-Gi-Oh playmats do you have, and did you create the images of them all by yourself? I've got, let's see, I've got 3 that I mainly use, and I've got 4 here, no, 5 here. I was given, one of which is the Speed Duel playmat. Where's that paper one I made? Oh, bloody hell, don't tell me it's fallen down here. Where the hell has it gone? Oh, God damn. Oops. Hello. That's my homemade one, actually. Fallen down. Oh no, wait, never mind, it's over here. Ow! Fuck's sake. That's what I get for not being organised. So yeah, these are 2 of the main ones that I use. I didn't design them, they were designed for me. I guess I'll put them there for now. And then this paper playmat, well, cardboard playmat I made back in 2009. This is one that I made myself and designed myself. It's my own homemade porch pigeon for life mat. And unlike other playmats, it has a banished zone and a mascot zone. Oh yeah, I didn't even count them, did I? So it's the 3 that I use, the signature ones that I use, which are, oh, fuck's sake, these ones plus the Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl one I got for Christmas back in 2009. There's this one here, so that's 4. So that makes 9, including the Speed Duel playmat. Yeah. I don't really see the point in gathering lots and lots of playmats. one's really all that's needed, really, but all of them have either been prizes or they've been given to me as gifts. Let's see. 16. Which Sonic character is your favourite and why? Well, Sonic the Hedgehog, of course, because because he's the main character, and I usually prefer the main characters of my favourite shows. Yeah, just because I'm predictable like that. So in this case it would be Sonic. In terms of Thundercats, it would be Lion-O. He-Man would be He-Man. Yugioh would be Yugi. Yugioh GX Jaden. 5Ds. Yusei. Yeah, that's all there is to it. 17. Do you believe that we will get Shadow the Hedgehog in a Sonic movie? I think it's a possibility, depending on how many sequels that the movie we got last year will get. Should be interesting to see. 18. Did you ever draw your own Sonic comic for fun? Well, yeah, like I talked about this last week when I answered one of LOL's questions. Like, did you not see that bit? I even said like a couple of times, both in that episode and the previous episode, that my original hobby was drawing my own fan-fictional Sonic the Hedgehog comics, which I still need to do. 19. Imagine you as a new Sonic character. What would you be? A human or an animal? I think human, because it's hard to think of an animal that I could be. 20. What is the most precious card in your Yu-Gi-Oh collection? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, I have a lot of cards that have money value or sentimental value, like whether they're in collections or decks. I feel like it would be any that I got given as gifts, like for Christmas or birthday or whatever. Like my secret rare Magician's 4-star Magician Girl, an ultra rare Guardian Sphinx, like the Japanese Ghost Rare Dark Magician, which Mr. Sasuke Dragon got me for Christmas a couple of years back. Sure there's others, but they're the only ones I can think of. Oh yes, and there's 4 more from LOLOL11000. Yeah, I'm just reading these in the order that I get them. 1. Would you happen to know any good recipes for beans on toast? Can't seem to get the portions right. Like, how can you not get the portions right with beans on toast? Like, it's one of the easiest foods to make. I mean, I don't think there's any special way of doing beans on toast, really. Like, you just make the toast, slice it in 2, and just distribute the beans so that they don't slide off. And even if they do, it doesn't matter. That's just more beans that you can eat with a knife and fork. Like, it's very simple. Do you think I should paint my room all black or pink with anime girls that I fancy? I'd say all black, just because it's more appealing. I mean, if pink with anime girls is a thing that other people like, then fair play to you, go with that. But if it were me, I'd go with all black. and I'm not just saying that because I'm part goth and that black is my second favourite colour. Do you know how long it takes to get to Glasgow? Asking for a friend, like, you couldn't have asked Google this? Like, surely that would give you a better answer than what I can give you. Because, like, I don't even know where you're from. If we're talking in the UK, like, depending on where you are, it would take like 6 to 7 hours to get there. But that's just a guess. Again, depending on where you're from. Like, surely asking Google this question would have made more sense. Just saying. I'm planning on getting a takeaway next week. What sort of food do you think I should get? Chinese. Or at least that's what I'd get. You could go with Thai as well, because there's some nice Thai food. Indian's all good as well. But I just like Chinese more. Like, I particularly love the chicken chow mein and the chicken balls. Like, they're fantastic. Probably shouldn't get both though. I would go with one or the other, because I once made that mistake myself and I just got too full and it was difficult getting everything down. Then there's 3 questions from Express Gaming. It's been a while. 1. If you had a superpower that you could never fart at all, how would that make you feel? If it was me, I think I will be left out. Speaking of which... Again, worst time. Oh, fuck me. Oh my god. Oh, what a pong. Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, that's foul. If you're wondering what I had, the last things I ate were an apple, Watsits, and chicken poppers, followed by chocolate milk. And I did have a baguette with chicken slices in there. Anyway, back to the question. I don't know how I'd feel. I guess I'd be okay with it. At least I wouldn't do what I did just now. I guess that would be a mixed blessing, because it means I wouldn't do it at the worst times ever. Unfortunately, it would be one less thing that would make my girlfriend laugh. Because my farts always make her burst out laughing. 2. If mind switching was a thing, where you, a girlfriend or a friend, sat down on lab chairs and sorry, this is hard to read. And you had headsets that switches your mind into another body. Would you try it for a week? Hell no. Like, I don't want to be in someone else's body, living someone else's life. Like, I wouldn't know what to do with myself, and what routine to follow. I'm perfectly comfortable in my own body. 3. When we all die of old age, what do you think you will become next as a spirit animal? I already know the answer, but the others I would like to hear. I don't know what I think I'd become, but it would be cool if I was reincarnated as a cat, just because the cat is my favourite animal. Like, cats are cute, and they have it so easy. Just lounging around the house, not doing much, going on little adventures outside. The only downside is only living for about 15 years. Like, that sucks. Like, I kind of feel sorry for animals that have such short lifespans. I don't know why it is that they can't live as long as humans. And the final question of this very long episode is from Chris Reinhardt. It was great seeing all your active and inactive decks, and yes, it was awesome seeing your Blue Eyes White Dragon and random all-star decks. But that brings me to my question. Does that mean no Highlander duels between you and the team? Would have been awesome to see that. Well, if you bring it back in the future, I'll be sure to ask again then. Lol. Keep up the great content. Thank you. But no, don't worry. Like, it doesn't mean the end of Highlander duels. Like, I will bring back my random All-Stars deck at some point. It's just that I'm more interested in playing other decks right now, and I don't want to have too many at once. Although, that being said, I now currently have 19 active decks, which are the usual three. Red Eyes, Egyptian Gods, Magician Girls, Legendary Knight, Stardust Junk, Yugi Gadget, Elemental Hero, Divine Neos, Evil Heroes, Destiny Heroes, Speedroids, Supreme Kings, Utopia, Galaxy, Photon, Fire Kings, and what was the other one? Black Luster Soldier, there we go. I did say Black Wings, didn't I? I hope so. God, it's been a long day. No, Random All-Stars will return eventually, and I did run the idea with the others about having a Highlander tournament. There's no news about something like that just yet. Maybe when I bring it back, maybe me and the other members of Team Sorcerers can organise something. So don't worry, we'll make it happen. Like, we're not going to turn around and say no, we're not going to do that. Because we will do it eventually, but just not right now. And that is it for questions in this episode. This was so long, that's what she said. So yeah, thank you very much for your guys' questions, and remember, if you've got any other questions you want to ask me, just post them in the comments down below. As long as it's not questions that I specifically banned, like, please, for the love of God, no more advice questions, otherwise you are asking too much of me. There are just some advice questions that I just do not have an answer for, so please stop and respect my wishes. So yeah, I usually do these episodes every Tuesday afternoon or evening UK time. So be sure to get your questions in before then so that you don't miss out. But the reason I say usually is because I'm not going to be doing the next episode next week. I'm going to be doing it in 2 weeks' time. Now, the reason why I'm not doing it next week is because I'm actually going away for a couple of days to spend a couple of nights with my girlfriend. I've got a nice little trip planned, so it does mean I'm not gonna have the time to do the Q&A, which is just as well, because you know, it could end up being another half hour to an hour long episode, which will just take far too much of my time, and I just want to focus on spending time with her. That being said, though, she is willing to do a couple of other videos with me, so keep your eyes peeled for those. But don't worry, like I said, the next Q&A episode will be in 2 weeks' time from now. So you can submit questions still for the next episode, but you're just going to have to wait 2 weeks before I can answer them. So just letting you guys know. Anyway, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.